Welcome aboard our news belt. And in our very first story, we touch on some security-related matters as residents of Siru, Balawa, and other adjoining communities in the Wa West district fear they will be cut off from the region if the Siru Dam is not breached. The dam broke its banks following torrential rains last September, posing a risk to these residents. They say several appeals to government to come to their aid have not yielded any results. There's more in this report.
One of the few dams in the Upper West region where large chunk of different species of fish could be caught is the Siru Dam. The dam is located between Balawa and Siru communities in the Wa West district. Also closer to them and dotted across are a plethora of dry season farms. The produce cultivated from these farms are mainly vegetables. Notable among them are tomato, pepper, and garden eggs. So, the life and survival of the people in this twin community and other adjoining communities to a very large extent depends on this dam. However, the dam is unable to hold much water now as previous times. On September 22 last year, the bank and spillway of the dam got broken as a result of torrential rains in the area. The main road to the communities lying in between the dam and the farms became inaccessible, and farmers, commuters, and other road users are bearing the brunt.
People have to carry their loads back to the other side, Kangba, through Bulunjin to Pointanga before they are able to access the regional capital, which is several of kilometers away. Unless if they could cross over to the other side, which is about 15 kilometers away from Wa. So as a result of that, farmers are able to lose income because of that. Animals too that used to come to the dam to drink, as a result of this breakage, the dam has overflown its banks and the water level is so low to the extent that if nothing is done about it, it will have a devastating effect on the people.
I was not able to be visiting the farm as I used to do at first, and that actually affected that's the health of my animals, because bringing a veterinary to inject them as I used to do was a very big tax. Sometimes if he even sacrificed to come by, he passed through Vieri, which is a very long way.
This middle-aged woman has a brush with death as she nearly got drowned in an attempt to cross the high current water.
I was once asked by a young man whether I had the heart to cross the dam. I responded in the affirmative. He held my hand midway into the dam, not knowing that he didn't have the heart rather to cross over the dam. He left my hand, and the water came carrying me away. It was God that rescued me as I got hung on top of a tree with my legs hitting the branches. I cried and praised God, and that really saved me.
The chiefs and people of the area has made passionate appeals to the duty bearers in the region, and all has since fell on deaf ears.
I am very disappointed in the government. We have been on our knees pleading with them, and they paid no heed to us. We have informed our Huawei's DC. Nothing has been heard so far from her. Same as the MP. We also appeal to other individuals. We are yet to hear from them also. We are now using our own resources to fix it.
The residents have even threatened to boycott next year's election should the road fails to be fixed before the time.
During campaign period, we flat here. I want to inform them, if they don't help us to construct the road, they should not come here for their campaigns again. You come.
On to our next story now, and the Dean of the School of Graduate Studies at the Regional Maritime University, Dr. Gabriel Akakpo, has bemoaned the lack of funds for students to undertake quality research to make meaningful contributions to the country. Dr. Akakpo's comments come in the wake of assertions by industry that products from tertiary institutions are not fit for purpose. There is more in this report.
The desire of tertiary students to fit into the job market after their studies is sometimes met with surprises, as these students are often labeled not fit for purpose. This experience over the years is pushing Regional Maritime University to take a different approach in reversing this trend. One of the challenges the university has identified is unavailability of funds for students to conduct quality research towards improving industry. Dean of School of Graduate Studies, Dr. Gabriel S. Akakpo says the university is building relationship with the industry to understand what is expected of students. He says Petroleum Commission has agreed to come on board.
My encounter is that our students have difficulties engaging in quality research because they lack funds. So you see that the topics that they have chosen to work on are very shallow. That itself denies them of in-depth knowledge about the particular industry they are researching into. So the idea is that, okay, why don't we liaise with the industry who actually have the problems? Sometimes we remain in office trying to imagine the problem that they have. We do our research, our training, and they say we are not fit for them. So we decided that, okay, let's get to the industry on the ground. We went to Petroleum Commission to have a tete-a-tete with them to find out what do we do, what do you need, so that we can come back and frame our contents, frame our curricula to meet your needs.
Vice Chancellor of Regional Maritime University, Dr. Jethro W. Brooks Jr. has expressed the need for close collaboration between academia and industry.
To make sure that our curriculum is highly improved so that our end product can receive added value when they get in the market, the industry, to be able to just start working immediately without any problem. So we decided to engage the industries, and that's one of the reasons why you see the Petroleum Commission is represented here tonight. We want to find out what the industry needs. We don't want to continue on that old academic way of just teaching. We want to find out what the needs are from the industry so that we can adjust our curriculum where necessary and if possible to meet the needs of the industry. We want to produce so that when at the end of the day they can be absorbed and not to produce to be seated at home or maybe loitering in the streets.
Meanwhile, Director of Finance at Petroleum Commission, Vincent Yankee, assured the institution of support.
We are the regulator of the upstream industry, and by virtue of where we sit, we can facilitate funding of institutions, because at the end of the day, the students that these institutions are churning out are more or less the pipeline of the human resource that the industry needs. And so there is a need to do everything possible to ensure that we bring on board various institutions in the industry to ensure that, be it the laboratories, be it the research areas, the commission facilitates capacity, building of the capacities of these institutions to enable the students that pass through the institutions to be industry ready.
For Corporate Affairs Manager Edward Appiah Brafo, the oil and gas industry is moving at a high speed in terms of knowledge and skills, and products of Regional Maritime University must be industry ready. Kwame Yankesh reports for Joy News.
That was our Tema correspondent, Kwame Yanka. On to our next story now, and 105 prospective entrepreneurs will get the opportunity of tapping into the $1 million seed fund being provided by the MasterCard Foundation Health Collaborative. Head of Health Entrepreneurship under the scheme, Professor Wilberforce Owusu-Ansah, says the funds can be accessed by anybody who has viable health-related business ideas.
Speaking at a stakeholder engagement for Care University Health affiliated training institutions and MMDs in the northern sector, Professor Owusu-Ansah said the program will also feature a pitching session where stakeholders will be invited to be part of the panel members.
Once the training is over, and we have even factored into the design of the training program where we give people opportunity to be able to pitch those creative ideas. So in this case, we are teaching them how even to pitch, and then we create a platform where they will pitch. And that one is not going to be decided by only the pillar heads and even our PI. We are going to bring in other people, including the likes of some of the key influencers and the people like you, to be on the panel. And we all adjudicate in terms of which idea is more important. more scalable and all that, so that those people will now be given the funding.
The objective of the MasterCard Foundation Health Collaborative is to build and strengthen the capacity of healthcare students and professionals to meet the growing demand for primary health care in Ghana. The project will further develop a dynamic, sustainable, long-term network of leading African universities, alumni and government agencies and private sector partners working together to create dignified and fulfilling jobs across health ecosystems in the next 10 years. KNUST is one of the 8 partners of the Higher Education Collaborative in Health, with the aim to contribute to all 3 pillars of health strategy: health employment, health entrepreneurship, and health ecosystems. The Chief Director of the Northern Regional Coordinating Council, Mr. Hassan Isaku, was happy the Health Collaborative will tackle the urgent needs in Ghana's health sector. He therefore urged the participants to rally behind the project.
This collaboration is very important because certainly the health of every nation determines its wealth, and if we do not prioritize health issues, then we do not stand any chance of achieving the progress and development that we all desire for our people and for this country.
On a rather sad note, former Minister of Trade, Alan Kyerematen, has been commiserating with the family of the deceased Member of Parliament for Kumewu. The late Philip Basua died on Tuesday, March the 28th at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Leadership of the New Patriotic Party also paid a visit to the family to assure them of the party's support. Nanawachi Adam has more in this report.
Family of the late MP for Kumewu could not hold back their tears as former Trade Minister Alan Kyerematen and leadership of the New Patriotic Party paid their respect. Former Trade Minister Alan Kyerematen says the party and people of Kumewu have lost a dedicated servant.
MP Susodia, Sabi, or Minia Kitwa, and was I Madame, and the Nazo Aksakosia, a probakum. Now, Bishop Modern Bar.
The late MP is a brother. He dedicated himself to the party. This is a big blow to the entire country. The General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, lawyer Justin Kudia, indicated that as the party sympathizes with the family of the late MP, leadership will also prepare for the by-elections ahead.
So the 60 days, I believe, started counting from Friday when the Speaker of Parliament officially communicated in the chamber that he has officially written to the Electoral Commission. So as a party, it is what it is. We need to prepare for the by-elections. We have to initially do our internal arrangement to get a candidate to represent the party. And I'm sure we are going to do a good job.
Now, Muslims who choose to fast in the holy month of Ramadan are being urged to pay close attention to their eating habits, as the disruption of their regular diet and eating patterns during this month could cause some discomfort and heightened food sensitivity, specifically when eating certain types of foods high in salt, sugar, or fat. Anas Abit visited the nutrition department of the Techiman Holy Family Hospital for more education on meals that are harmful during the period of fasting.
During the holy month of Ramadan, healthy adult Muslims abstain from food and water from dawn to sunset. Traditionally, one breaks the fast at sunset with a meal called iftar and then eats again pre-dawn at suhoor. Even though there is evidence to suggest that fasting can have positive effects on your health in terms of weight loss and decrease in blood pressure and cholesterol, the fasting person may have certain health-related issues to deal with, and this includes malnutrition, dehydration, fatigue, and low energy, amongst others. As a result, It is highly recommended that Muslims observing this spiritual exercise need to make health a priority by paying attention to their dietary recommendations even before the start of the month. But how many people take this into consideration, and which meals are not recommended for the fasting person and why? We paid a visit to the nutrition department of the Techiman Holy Family Hospital to throw more light on this. Senor Emmanuel is a public health officer and in charge of the nutrition department.
As we all know, Ramadan is a spiritual exercise. But as we are embarking on this journey, we don't have to be oblivious of our health. So this is an opportunity to enlighten the populace about how to undertake this spiritual exercise and also remain healthy.
Senor Emmanuel hammered on the relevance of the pre-dawn meal and asked that this would help deal with dehydration during the day.
As Muslims, I think per your doctrine is important not to skip the dawn meal, as they are not to take anything, whether drink or fruit, during the day. So it's advisable to be taking primarily water, not fizzy drinks, carbonated or sugary drinks. They are not healthy for our health. So water you can take at dawn before you start the journey, and after you break in the evening, because if there may be dehydration, you have to replenish whatever fluids you lost in the course of the day.
Emmanuel, however, cautions Muslims to be wary of the intake of acidic foods, particularly during the breaking of the fast, as this has the tendency of affecting one's health when taken on empty stomachs.
Orange, pineapple are all within the acidic fruits. They are not bad in nature, but the timing in which you take it, you don't have to take them on an empty stomach. So you can't break the fast with acidic fruits. Maybe after taking something light, it can be soup, can be wheat, home wheat, food rich in fiber. After that, you can take those foods. They can even help the aids in digestion.
He further emphasized that despite the fact that some processed foods have some benefits, majority of these foods are detrimental to the general health of the consumer, as they contain a high amount of saturated fats, which is not healthy for a fasting person.
Processed foods, if not in the period of fasting, they are things we have to take with caution. Processed foods that are manufactured, packaged, they have hidden components that are injurious to your health. So for every normal human being, you have to take them with caution.
Senor Emmanuel again noted that fruits and vegetables are essential during fasting, as they increase the feeling of fullness and help prevent constipation.
We have to take a variety of fruits. The color depicts the kind of nutrient pertaining in that particular fruit. So taking one fruit or kind of fruit wouldn't give you the nutrients the body requires. So we should take variety of them.
In a nutshell, the fasting person must endeavor to subscribe to eating easily digestible fruits with high water content. Stay away from fatty junk meals and at least spend some few time having shorter and low intensity workouts that will help maintain one's fitness level and improve his or her health and well-being. Anas Sabit, Joy News, Techiman.
And that's how we cap off the news. Stay with us as we're joined by the General Secretary of the CPP as we get into the news review.